Maybe I should add myself to the screen before I go live. That's a good idea. Bo. Hey, good morning, friends and neighbors. Good to see you. Happy Thursday, September 24th, 2020. It is going to be a great day. It really is. I mean, think of all of the things that have already gone so well. I mean, your day got off to a good start because you woke up this morning. Not everybody can say that. In fact, more than 95% of the people who have existed on this planet can't say that. Figuratively or literally, they can't say I woke up this morning. So you're already in the top 5% of the world in history. You woke up this morning. Great work, everybody. What else happened today? Did you have breakfast? Breakfast is awesome. Are you on alive right now with capitalists around the world? What a great day. It's already off to a great start. And it's just going to keep getting better and better and better. And the thing that makes every day better is when we get to have a simultaneous sip together. Because there's capitalists all over the world. Can you imagine what our collective net worth must be? I mean, what a rich person thing to do. To wake up in the morning and to have a cup of coffee with other entrepreneurs around the world. Isn't that just a rich people thing to do? Man, you are just getting richer and wealthier as the day goes on. What a great day it has been. And it's just going to get better when we do this. Your net worth is about to go up because you're having a cup of coffee with a whole bunch of rich, successful people. So grab a cup or a mug or a glass or a chalice, a stein, a tankard, a thermos, a vessel of any kind, and let's cheers to Scott Adams, who I've completely ripped off this bit from, and join me now for the unparalleled pleasure of the simultaneous sip. Go. Oh, that's good. Ooh, do you feel your net worth rising? Do you feel the ideas flowing? Do you feel the connections happening? Do you feel the cat climbing up your back? Do you feel that? Do you feel it? I felt at least one of them. Hey, if you're watching live, please say hello in the comments. Good morning, Drew Hitchcock. Good to see you. Hello, Rhino. Thanks for always being here. Hey, Bram. Good to see you. Good morning, Herb. Good to see you. What's up, Scott? Good to see you. You can see Mina is staring at AJ Vaynerchuk there. Oh, this isn't going to end well, is it? She's going to be the star of today's coffee. Good morning, Steve. Good to see you. Good morning, Amanda Alpine. Good morning, Sue. Good to see everybody. Hey, Don. Good to see you again. Great seeing you over the weekend. And yes, it is a good morning, Amanda, because the Indians are in the playoffs. All right. So, hey, Steve Zellers. Good to see you, bud. So I just have to tell you. Oh, and hey, Todd. Thanks for hanging out in the green room. I'm excited to chat with you. Hey, Randy. Hey, Greg. Hey, everybody. So there's something on my mind, and it's been on a lot of people's mind. And it's this idea or this kind of debate some people are having of what's going to happen after November 2nd. What's going to happen on November 2nd? What's going to happen after November 2nd? Are we going to be more divided after the election or less? Are we going to go to civil war? What's going to happen? And I have ping-ponged on my opinion around this several different times. So rather than tell you my analysis of what is going to happen, there's something that I have been coming back to every time I play this out. Because whether it's Biden or it's Trump or it's somebody else that we don't even know exists right now, which it's 2020, who the heck knows at this point, regardless of what happens or if the election is contested or if we're ripped apart, I have taken heart in the fact that there are more of us who want peace than want violence. Reasonable people don't get attention. Reasonable people don't make the news. Reasonable people are usually drowned out by those who are causing a lot of chaos and noise. That's where the news cycle goes. And as a result, we have all kind of followed into this hypnotized view of the world that those who are chaotic and those who are not peaceful and those who are judgmental are running the world. But the truth is that most people, when you have a face-to-face conversation, are reasonable and are willing to listen. Now, that doesn't get attention. That doesn't make people click. It doesn't make people stare at the screen. And so it's very difficult to create a news cycle out of what is normal and reasonable. So right now we live in this world where in order to get attention, you have to be more and more polarizing, more and more chaotic. I have my qualms with the president, but I have even more qualms with the media. And I read an article this week about Trump's speech in Minnesota, in which he said what I consider to be a very benign comment and was taken in a way that he must be trying to start a race war. And even the fact that we now have a filter to interpret the world in that way shows how polarized we are. But every time there is polarization, it means that there's an opposite to that as well. When we feel divided, it means that we also feel a greater desire for connection. When we feel isolated, we feel a greater desire to be in communion with one another. When we feel treated unfairly, it means there is even more desire for fairness. And the result of that is that the pendulum always swings the other way. So while we're feeling this polarization, while we're feeling this divide, it is actually evidence of what will happen when the pendulum swings the other way. Might take time, might take years, might take a lot of pain and suffering. But the fact of the matter is, when we feel divided, we're actually desiring more connection. And the inevitable result of that, well, that we will swing to prioritize more connection. And if you think about the last 20 years, as we have become more and more isolated, as we've worked more and more from home, as we've stared behind computers more and more and more, it's kind of making sense why we would feel more and more isolated from each other. And what we're seeing is the pinnacle of that, the apex of that. But when the pendulum swings the other way, it means that we start prioritizing connection and family and community and friendships right now. So if you feel that desire, or if you feel that polarization, those two things are related. It's really hard to be angry at someone that you feel very connected to, but it's very easy to feel angry when you feel isolated. You start blaming people for the way that you feel. So I take heart in the fact that when we feel separate, it is actually a desire for more depth and connection. And so at some point, might take years, might take a decade, but if you can prioritize that for yourself, you are creating change. I'm working on a video right now in which the takeaway is you are the media. If a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it make one more time. If a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? In science, the answer is no, because sound is an interpretation. Sound is the translation of a vibration. Sound is our interpretation of something happening. So when the media makes noise, when other people are loud, if there is no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? Even the word media. What is a medium? A medium is a channel through which noise travels. The noise can travel, but you don't have to hear it. Media is silent until you tune in. You are the media. So as we blame the media, as we notice that the media is negative, the only way that it can be negative is if you give it attention, is if you tune into it. But you can tune into whatever you want. Do you know how easy it is to find good news right now? Do you have any idea how easy it is to find opportunity right now? Do you have any idea how easy it is to find connection right now? Because we're demanding all of those things more than ever. There's more demand for those things. There's more desire for those things. But most of us are trained to be tuned into the negativity and the automatic things that are being broadcast. If you tune into the automatic broadcast, well, no fucking wonder it continues to grow in attention and that you continue to go down that path of negativity. Because you're not in control of what you're paying attention to. You are giving your attention to whatever makes the most noise. But you're the one who is receiving that. You are the one who is deciding where that attention goes and flows. If there's no receiver, then the media can't travel. The noise can't travel. If there's no one there to hear the sound, then it can't make a noise. Or at least the media starts changing what it broadcasts in order to match the desire of where the attention wants to go. And you want it to go to positivity. You want it to go to opportunity. You want it to go to growth. I'm going to tell you a story that I probably shouldn't. About a year ago, someone that I did business with some time ago got into very, very deep legal trouble. And although I was innocent, and although I didn't do anything wrong, I worried about what would happen to me legally. And there was about a 3-week period in which I wondered if I was going to go to jail. And I worried about losing my reputation. And I worried about the public reception of whatever this would mean. And after about a week of fighting it, and then 2 weeks of grieving it, in about the 3rd week, I finally asked the question, can I be at peace? Can I be happy going to jail? If I go to jail, can I find happiness there? If I go to jail, can I still live a meaningful life? If I go to jail, can I find meaning in my life? And it wasn't easy, but I got to the place where I was at peace and in acceptance of the idea of possibly losing my freedom. Now, when you can get to that place where I'm okay losing everything, now every day that you're free feels like a fucking party. If you've listened to my podcast for a while, you know that I occasionally do ayahuasca ceremonies. Ayahuasca ceremonies are made to simulate death. They are made to simulate what happens in the ceremony style, and also just how the medicine works, is made to basically simulate the process of death. And in the West, we have such a disconnection from the idea of death. We fear it. We deny it. We don't talk about it. We avoid it. We're scared of it. We think every death is tragic. We have no acceptance of the fact that this is part of our inevitability of being alive. It's the inevitability of being born. And what happens when you simulate this idea of death is that now you have a contrast point for life. Most of us take our lives for granted so much that we simulate other chaos in order to give us meaning. We take our lives for granted, we take our wealth for granted, we take our relationships for granted until they're gone. But when you get the reframe of simulating death or having a death experience, then all of a sudden you have appreciation for what already exists. Polarization or contrast is what frames everything. So as we are going into this phase of this chaotic and divisive election cycle, it is a reflection. It is evidence of the opposite. It is evidence of the positive. It is evidence of what it is that we desire. If you feel taken advantage of, it means that there's desire for more fairness and connection. And so we always have the option to choose which position we take, to choose which perspective we take, Do we take the negative side of it, the one that feels shitty, or do we take the positive side of it, the one that makes us feel empowered? And the more okay you can be with the negative side of things, if you understand that you can live and find meaning and fulfillment and happiness on the shitty side of it, then you have access to the positive side of it. So, I know that we're all going through some tish right now. I know that you are concerned about what happens post-November. I know that most people fear that if their guy or their team doesn't get in, that we've lost the democracy, we've lost peace. I know, and that fear is real, and I fall into it too. I just remind myself every time that that fear is actually evidence of something that I want even more. What is it that I do want? Not what do I fear, but what do I want? If I'm afraid of someone coming in and burning down my house and killing my family and taking my assets, what does that mean that I want? And can I be okay? Like, if I lose everything, including everyone that I know, can I still find meaning and happiness? There will be a tremendous amount of pain, but can I actually get through it? Will I come out the other side and still be able to find meaning and happiness? If I'm afraid of the loss of love and connection, that means that I desire love and connection, something that I already have. So the fear of loss is actually the reflection, the opposite side of the appreciation of what I already have. So which one is more empowering? Me putting my focus on what I'm afraid to lose, or me putting my appreciation on the things that I already have that I am afraid to lose? If you've seen my video on all I ever wanted to be was a millionaire, you hear me say that when I was a kid, all I wanted to be was a millionaire. Now that I'm a millionaire, all I want to be is a carefree kid. My daughter's 5, and we have a much stronger connection than when she was a baby. When she was a baby, all I wanted was for her to grow up. Now that she's 5, sometimes miss when she was a baby. So there's as my good friend Brooke Castillo says, life is always 50-50. It is designed that way. Life is made to be 50-50 so that you have opportunity for growth. If life was positive all of the time, then you would never have a reason to grow and expand. And if it was negative all of the time, then there would be no joy or reason for living. So life is 50-50. We have to have the negative in order to amplify the positive. So whenever I fall into this trap of negativity or negative thinking, I always am reminded that that's evidence and a reflection of something that I do want. And it's much more empowering, much more pleasant, much more beneficial to focus on what it is that I do want rather than what it is that I am afraid to lose. Hi, Rita. Good to see you. Todd, are you ready to dance? You want to do this thing? All right. So I'm going to head over to Nick. Yes, this is Steve Larson's Capitalist picture right here. So, if you watch this video until the end, I'm going to share with you my $1 billion idea. All right, Todd, let's dance. I'm going to go over to the green room here. We'll bring Todd on. Good morning, Todd. How are you?
Hey, man, doing good. How are you doing?
Good to see you. I like your shirt.
Hey, thanks.
Where are you in Texas?
Yes, for another
Cool.
month.
All right, cool. I'll wave from 35. What's up, dude?
So I'm right on the verge of launching product number 1.
Awesome.
With a new brand. I've got, a garage full of them ready to ship out the door.
That's great.
I don't think I've really talked with you too much about the product yet. Just the fact that it's a first of its kind. So I don't, it's an accessory for a popular product. There's no direct competition. And I'm really just wondering, I've gone through all the steps, obviously, that you gave us of the launch. But for this kind of unique situation where it is a unique product, is there anything additional kind of here in the last minute stages that you would suggest I focus on?
Yeah, I would suggest that you focus on doing demos of your product in front of your audience.
Okay.
So I would focus on you doing some sort of, here's how it works, here's why we developed it, here's what it does, here's how it fits in the RV. Here's I would just regularly do different demos of how the product works or why you decided to do it,
Okay.
and then put those people onto a hot list if you're not already doing that.
Oh yeah,
So like,
I got
you're
that
already
part.
doing the hot list.
Yeah.
What do you got
And
on the hot list?
I've got about 120 on the hot list and about
Awesome.
80 beta testers. So
That's great. That's
yeah.
fantastic. So I would just continue to do blog posts, since I know you do blog posts. Put content in front of the people that already see your stuff that highlights the product, and bring them over into that hot list. And you'll have sales day one. And as you are getting closer to the launch date, continue to tell them things like, hey, just so you know, we're bootstrapping this thing. We're not a VC backed company, so we've got 500 units. There's 500 people already on this hot list. Just wanted to let you know that I really appreciate the support. We'll do a second round of orders as soon as we can, but if you want to be one of the first ones, time's not on your side. Like, it's real scarcity.
Yeah.
It's not like limited time only.
Nothing manufactured here.
Right. Yeah. Just be really honest about the fact that, like, if you want to be first in line, they should get off the pot. And I don't know if you'll sell out, but you'll have sales on day one for sure.
Yeah, I'm a little frustrated that we've got these inventory or initial inventory limits on Amazon right now. You can only send in 200, and I've got almost 600. But
so let's reframe this. Now you have another reason for scarcity.
Also true.
All right. So now you can legitimately say to your audience, hey, here's the thing. With COVID, Amazon only lets new businesses have 200 of these. I've already got 200 people on this waiting list. So if you want in, I'll give you a secret link. You're going to be the first one to know, but there's probably not going to be any left after launch, and it's going to be 6 weeks before I get another 200 in. So thanks for being first in line. Just want to let you know that there's a very real limit here. And boom. I mean, it's a good problem to have when you sell out.
It's true. It's true. That's a good reframe. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you're in a great spot. You're exactly where you should be at this point in the process. And I think that the more you can show the audience what you got and what their expectations should be, then the easier the sale will be when you're live.
Okay. I will definitely put some focus on that here in the last couple of weeks. And
great.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Congratulations. I'm excited for you, Todd.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Keep me posted.
Bye-bye.
Boom. That's fun. Hey, Spencer. Good morning. Hey, Meg. Hey, Brittany. Hey, Ahmed. Hey, Sean. Good to see y'all. Don, you look familiar. You want to come here on the live? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. All right, let's do this. Don, you're on mute, but good morning. Good to see you.
Am I unmuted now? Can you hear me?
There we go. Now I can hear you. What's up, dude?
Hey, I wanted to know, like, how you know when to consider, like, working with an influencer, like in an equity sort of position, like offering them like a small stake in the company, and like how you would even go about like knowing who to do that with and like how much of a stake to offer them. I literally have.
So it's a good question. So sorry, you're on just a hint of a delay, so forgive me for talking over you. But as far as who to go to, I look at it the same way that I look at an employee. So an employee, I've got 3 criteria. They've done this before. They have a network of people that they can call upon when they get stuck, and they're really passionate about what we're up to. That's what I look for when I'm hiring an employee. With an influencer, it's exactly the same. They've talked about brands or businesses before, and they have a community that buys that kind of stuff. they have a network of other influencers that they could call upon because they're going to be so excited about what they're doing that they're going to want to call their friends. And number three, they're really excited about what it is that we're doing. It's hard to convince an employee to be excited about your business, but it's really easy to motivate somebody who's already excited. And in the same way, it's hard to convince an influencer to talk about your product. But if they are already excited about it, I mean, hell, Don, I talk about Safe Suites. Like, I love your stuff, right? So, like, it's easy for me to talk about it because I love your shit. And so, an influencer has to have that same mentality of like, I don't need to be incentivized. I'm just so glad to be incentivized because I love this stuff so much. Now, you might find that only 2 out of 10 people that you reach out to have that type of mindset, which is great because you only need one. And so it is not about finding the influencer and persuading them to be part of it. It's about finding the people who already have that type of excitement, which requires you to also be excited about your stuff and also be willing to share your stuff fairly liberally rather than our conversation at breakfast. You were going for the ask too early. So rather than go for the ask too early, just liberally share your stuff, knowing that 1 out of those 10 is going to be like, this stuff is awesome. Like I'm going to buy 10 of these. And you get them, if they're naturally excited about it, they're really easy to motivate and incentivize. Now, as far as splitting the pie, I carve out 15 to 20% of my company for advisors, relationships, and influencers. And that's really just what I would call exposure. So exposure can come in a variety of different ways, but what I like to do is I'll have one anchor influencer. That one anchor influencer exists to be my primary source of exposure. And then I allow them to go recruit other influencers that I might throw a point to or half a point to or a quarter point to in order to build up more of a distribution network. So that's how I do it. And that's not right or wrong. It's just how I approach it.
So what would that mean, influencer? Maybe is that like 5 points or something like that, or?
Yeah, I mean, so 5 points is great. 10 points is great. 15 points can sometimes be appropriate. Whatever you decide is fair or reasonable, I would recommend that you do it on a vesting schedule, which means that let's say that it's 6 points. You're going to do 2 points a year for 3 years. And you both have the option to renew or not. So if either of you are not happy, you're out. You can be out. So your downside risk is 2 points. Then I would add I'm sorry to get all complicated on you, but to protect myself even more, I'd add a provision in the agreement that I could buy out their 2% in the event that they decided not to cancel. So, or not to continue. So if in that contract, I've got that they can opt out of the contract at any time, but if they do so, I can buy their shares at a fair valuation, and we might set what that valuation would be from the get-go. So that way, everybody knows what the agreement is, and you can get it out of the way and go party.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you.
You bet. First step for you, though, is go just give to the people that you might want to work with and treat it like a relationship. You're going to have to go on a few dates before you get married. So go on a few dates, and going on dates is a lot easier when you're the hot girl at the dance. So how do you be the hot girl at the dance? Have a great product, talk about the product, and give away that product to people that you think would naturally like it. And then you can go on a date.
Okay, gotcha.
Make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, Don.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
You too.
I got some room in the green room. If any of you are in the 1% and you want to just hop in here and chat about life or business, I'd be happy to chat with you. Hey, Chris Nowak. Good to see you. Chris, you're one of my favorite case studies. You know that? Hey, Drew. Good to see you. You know, I'm going to share with you my $1 billion idea here in a minute. But I gotta tell you, we're having a lot of fun in the Capitalism Incubator. We did this call 2 weeks ago where I just shared some, like, the overall approach to these businesses. And I did this very intentionally from the perspective of knowing that there were members of the group that were new, there were new entrepreneurs, and there were members of the group that were already running seven-figure businesses. There's a mix here. The temptation was to talk about starting a business, but we didn't do that because it would have isolated the people who were already in business. So what we did was we cast the vision for what it looks like to build an eight-figure company and reframed the vision that these entrepreneurs have been having. So now they're actually building something that is scalable and sellable. And it was like, as Bram would say, we needed cigarettes after the first call. It was so much fun. And now we're totally focused on the person behind the product. And it is creating such breakthroughs. A quick story is I was chatting with one of our members yesterday who had this product idea that's a good product. But immediately as he told me about it, I'm like, he's in product mode. And he's telling me about the product. He's telling me about the demand on Amazon and the competition, which is all fine and great. Those are all ways to confirm a good business idea. But it's not a way to build a brand. It's hard to build a brand by starting with the product. It's not impossible, it's just hard. So he's telling me about the product, and I said, I'm not hearing you really talk about the person or the brand. And then he flipped and he said, well, he has a business partner in it. He's like, well, my business partner is a military vet, and he says that there's so much demand among military vets for this type of product. I said, so there is your brand. Your brand is not this product. Your brand is that you're serving the problems that military vets have when they come back into civilian life. So when they come back into civilian life, they have aches and pains. They've got ear problems. They're finding jobs and careers. They're finding community. These are all pain points that all of these military vets have when they come back into civilian life. That's your brand. Your brand is not the product. And the way that he had talked about the product is basically a product for old people. I mean, that's hard to build a brand around. It's too elusive. It doesn't stand for anything. But when he framed it around the person who had the pain point, which in this case was a military vet, and there's other people who have similar pain points, it's just you start building a brand by picking one person. There's lots of people who drink coffee, but a special type of person drinks Black Rifle coffee. A special type of person drinks Starbucks coffee. A certain type of person drinks McDonald's coffee. The brands that you consume say something about who you are. And so as a result, you focus on who the person is rather than the product. And when you focus on the person, you're able to just say, this is first product, this is second product, this is third product, there's fourth product. And you know it's going to work just like Todd described. Todd has a budding audience on a blog. He's about to launch this product to them, and it is a new type of product. It's an innovative product. It doesn't have internal demand on Amazon. But because he has the person in mind, he knows that he can sell these products. And Todd is probably going to sell out as a result of having the person rather than focusing on the product. That is where the magic is. And we're having so much fun doing it inside of the Capitalism Incubator. What we're focused on is getting these entrepreneurs to have a rock solid vision and plan over the first few weeks so that they have a real business that they can communicate to their peers and to investors and to partners and to influencers and to their customers, to themselves, to their spouses, to their families. So they have a very clear vision of where they're going and how they're going to get there, which makes it really easy to bring in the tactics and the strategies for them to start following the plan. So we're having a great time in the Capitalism Incubator. I'm so proud and excited for this group. So if you're in Cap Inc. and you're watching this, I'm really proud to be on your team, and I'm really excited about what we're doing. And I'm proud of myself for building a process and a team that is doing such a kick-ass job at serving these customers. So Team, I'm super proud of you guys. Sue, I love you. Team, I'm just very proud to be on your team. Okay, Brad, I know you're trying to get in here, so I'll just delay here for a second and let you get the last question before I share my $1 billion idea. And my phone is blowing up. Who is calling me at 9 in the morning from San Jose? Whose number is this? Whose number is this? They've called me like 3 times this morning. I'm going to guess that it's spam. Let's find out here. They left a voicemail. Oh, yep, it's spam. It's one of these. Listen, remember this? You guys ever get these?
Security Administration. The reason you have received this phone call from our department is to inform you about a legal enforcement action which has been filed.
Oh, please.
On your name and on your social security number.
Get out of here. Get. Yep. Who does this? Who does this stuff? Bram says it's boner pills. Yeah. There you go. I love you back, Sean. I'm excited to see you this week. I am excited to watch the debate with you, Sean. Hey, Sean, you want to go for a hike tomorrow morning? I was actually thinking about you yesterday. I was like, I want to go for a hike with Sean. I want to find a new hiking trail. I want to find a new one, not one we've been to before. Do you want to go for a hike tomorrow morning? And a new hiking trail? All right, Brad, I'm delaying. Look, we're going through my voicemails to try and give Brad more time to get into the green room. So help me out here, Brad. Help me out? I'm waiting. I'm gonna do like 9 simultaneous sips. Hey, Tom. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the kind words. Hey, Sean. I'll bring you on in a second. So first of all, sorry, 9 thoughts at once. Breaking my waffle brain. So I'll save this story for another day. Sean, I'm gonna get to you. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Sean McCool, talking to you. You're just going to stare at me awkwardly? Is that how we're going to do this? All right, Bradley Halpert, give me a thumbs up if you're ready to do this. Woo! Brad, what's up, dude?
Hey, I'm going to try to
what's
get
going
in here
on?
for 10 minutes.
we made it. Tell me what's going on. Give me the update.
We've been doing pretty well. We've got our product now. It's actually about to be launched. We just got word from the fulfillment center that we got the green light. So all the pre-orders are going out like as we speak. We're launching Friday with our new product. So I'm really excited about all that. But since I have you, I'd love to actually ask your opinion on wholesale. So we've been approached by a number of people within our niche that want to do wholesale, some in the United States and actually overseas in a number of different areas. We are afraid that if we offer wholesale within the United States, that we're going to kind of kill our core customer, or at least maybe miss out on the profits that we could have. But what's your opinion on wholesale? And how do you, because this is kind of new to us and we're kind of looking at that.
Yeah.
Is it a good revenue? Because our fulfillment that we're dealing with is a problem. We can do it however we want. We're also looking at Amazon as another option to.
Oh no, Bradley. There. Oh, we lost you for a second there, Brad. But tell me if you're
still there.
Yeah, we lost you there for about 3 seconds, but we're all right. I think we're on a bit of a delay now, but
somebody's trying to call me.
That's funny. Me too. So here's my question for you, Brad, that will help me answer this question. Mm-hmm. Who are the wholesalers, and what is the way that they're distributing your product when they buy from you?
They would be, I guess, just distributing through their websites. Mainly online. There might be, I think, 1 or 2 small stores kind of asked, but mainly, we sell online. So.
Okay. And are these significant possible orders? Are these like $100,000 orders?
No, not quite. They're smaller shops. Probably, about the size we are, but it does open up an avenue overseas for us. So
first of all, Audrey just posted that she does primarily wholesale, and she'd be happy to chat with you inside the 1%.
Awesome.
But my answer to this is sell on your own first.
Okay.
So sell your own stuff first. I mean, you have the audience, you know you're going to be able to take sales, you know that you're going to get momentum out of the gate. So sell on your own first and then answer the question if you want to partner with wholesalers. Reason being is whoever takes the first sale has a little bit of the control. And so if you are primarily going to wholesale from the get-go, then you're giving a little bit of your control to those buyers, and you want to set the precedent that you're the hot girl at the dance, that you're the person who sells the most product, that you control the terms, that you know what your margins are when you sell on your own, so that you're not negotiating against yourself when you go to wholesale. So take the order yourself first, then you can show the numbers to a wholesale buyer and be able to negotiate better rates, better terms, and it puts you in a more authoritative position from a negotiating perspective. So I'm not against going wholesale, but I wouldn't take the order until you you see what your launch is going to be like, because you might sell through all of your inventory and not have the inventory to go to wholesale. You want to see what your margins are. You want to nail that pricing. You want to nail the product before you give it to other people who are then going to distribute on your behalf. So perfect things internally, and then you can answer that question.
Okay. Awesome.
All right. Sound good?
Thank you.
Good to see you. Keep us posted.
Will do. Thank you.
All right. See ya. So let me share with y'all my $1 billion idea. I believe that we find evidence for our beliefs. We don't create our beliefs based on evidence. Most people think that they come to their conclusions logically, but they don't. They come to their conclusions emotionally, and then they justify them logically. This is why when you have a debate with someone on politics or religion, you each bring your set of facts and no one is persuaded. Ben Shapiro likes to say that facts don't care about your feelings, and he's right. But the opposite is also true. Feelings don't care about your facts. So if you want to persuade someone, it's difficult to do it with facts and logic. All of this to say, all of our beliefs are bullshit. They're all made up. We've all arrived at them based on the experiences that we've had in our life, not based on the evidence that we find. We find evidence based on our beliefs, not the other way around. So yesterday I was kind of playing with the thought. I was playing with the thought of, well, how would I see the world if I believed things differently than I believe now? How would I look at a situation if I believed something that I don't currently allow myself to see? So, for example, I was chatting with a friend who was kind of struggling in a relationship. And I simply said, she's the one if you believe she's the one. Because if you believe she's the one, then you find evidence for why she is the one. And if you don't believe she's the one, no amount of evidence or experiences will change that. So, do you believe she's the one or not? Similarly, I did this for myself. I thought, okay, what in my life do I not see because I don't believe it? And I said to myself, I don't believe that capitalism.com could be $1 billion company. I believe it's my audience. I believe it's my purpose. I believe it's my message. I believe it's my passion. But I've always thought if I'm going to have $1 billion empire, it could be fueled by capitalism, but it wouldn't be capitalism.com. So I challenged that thought and I asked myself the question, well, if I believed that capitalism was $1 billion company, how would the company change? If I believe that capitalism.com is $1 billion company, what happens when I look at the company? And immediately I started to see all the things that were holding us back, that were not in alignment with $1 billion vision. And then the $1 billion vision just like beamed in. clear as day. And the $1 billion vision is something that Sue Anderson is going to laugh at, because when I've shared with this in the past, she said, "Stop everything! We're doing this instead." And I have had the idea of making capitalism.com more like a marketplace in which people brought their business plan with a write-up of the business plan and a write-up about who they were about as an entrepreneur, and allow other people to bid on investing in the company, supporting the company as an influencer, serving as an advisor. So I shared with Don about carving out 20% of the business for partnerships and relationships. Well, if someone comes to capitalism.com with the business that they want to start and the problem that it addresses in the world, and they have 20 to 40% of the company earmarked for investors, relationships, advisors, and influencers, if they create a pitch deck about what their vision is and how it changes the world, and other people can now submit inquiries to be part of this business, well, what you have is you have other people seeing this business and wanting to support it, wanting to invest in it. And you have a platform for entrepreneurs to present their business plans and the vision and the direction that they want to go. So if you think about Kickstarter from a product perspective, this is the marketplace or the platform for creating change, for the business ideas that solve problems. So the way that I came up with the slogan of the marketplace for change, or the platform for change. If you know that you went to this marketplace and you could put your business plan on it, and you would have high caliber investors throwing money at you or offering you money, influencers coming to you and saying, "Hey, I want to be a part of this. I'll share it with my audience. I'll take a quarter point." And you have advisors who are looking at it, sharing it with each other, saying, "Hey, look at this idea. Check out this idea. We should support this thing." You now have a platform to bring influencers, money, and great ideas to the table and be able to incubate those businesses. Now check this out. Here's where it gets really exciting. Have you ever been on Auto Trader or any other marketplace, and they have like the little yellow banners that are like premium listing or limited time offer? Well, what would that be for our platform to give these businesses more exposure? Well, one of them is Capitalism Funded. I run a fund called the Capitalism.com Fund. And if the Capitalism Fund invests in one of these businesses, we've vetted it. We already have the network and the distribution. We already have connections. We already have the advisors that are supporting this business. So if another investor sees that this business is capitalism funded, then it's almost like a vote of confidence that this is a good idea and or a good entrepreneur. So the businesses that are now capitalism funded, that are getting money from the capitalism fund, get a little bit of a lift in their valuation, in their exposure, and the type of caliber investors and advisors that are brought to the table to support this business. And that's how I'll make my $1 billion, is I have a piece of these companies, and all of these other businesses are now coming to support this idea, and I own a little bit of it, and it only takes one Twitter or one Quest Nutrition to really establish this as a marketplace that churns out great ideas and great entrepreneurs. Here's another thing that would add value and credibility to those listings. If you have someone who is listed as a capitalism incubator graduate or incubator graduate, and now this person has gone through the proper trainings to be able to build an 8-figure business, a business that creates change, a business that is worthy of being supported by an audience. And as a result, you see that this is the type of entrepreneur that is going to follow the certain system, and you get more of that attention, and you have more of that that focus around that business. So as a result of us doing what we do of supporting entrepreneurs and teaching entrepreneurs, we can also give them a platform on the marketplace that gives them more exposure, the funding, and the opportunities that they need in order to scale beyond their previous levels. And we'll have a small piece of all of those businesses, or at least the option to buy into those businesses as a result of creating exposure for them. So that is my $1 billion idea. And that came from simply playing with the idea of If I believed that it was $1 billion business, what would I do? If I believed what I can't currently see, what would I start to see? Your brain is a filter. It's not a creator. If you change the filter, you change the inputs and the outputs. Thanks for spending part of your Thursday with me. It's great to see all of you. I'll talk to you soon. If you're in the 1%, I'll see you on Sunday. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.